Hello, my name is Garrett, and I'm gonna do a little mini series on my trailer Blue Yeti install. If you're not familiar with what Blue Yeti is, it's a power station, an all-in-one inverter, solar MPPT charger. Anyway, I'm not gonna go in the specs. I'm trying to keep it short and simple. I posted the other day about what I wanted to do, got some comments. Everyone's like, ah, yeah, you should do this and that with Victron. And I can go into why I didn't want Victron. I started out researching Victron, and I really like researching stuff. I started with Victron, and yeah, it's awesome, no doubt. It's really cool. I built my whole system in my head for this trailer, how I was gonna mount it, what kind of components, what batteries, priced it all out, and it was like $7,000. That's with solar panels and everything, but you know, it was a cool system. Then I started reading like, oh yeah, you can't take it with you, you know, you're spending all this money. And if you know me, my wife knows me, I sell trailers, I sell motorhomes. I haven't kept a motorhome or a trailer for more than 4 years. This one might keep a little bit longer. Maybe that phase of my life is over, but I don't know. Anyway, so then it was too much money, and it's like, well, why spend all this money, put it in there, have to tear it out, reinstall it? It seems like a big hassle. I don't have a lot of time. I have a child, I have 2 children, and it was just seemed like a lot of work. I could do it, I wasn't afraid of the work, just a lot of work. A lot of splicing and making sure your wire connections are all good, yada yada yada. And so then I started, my next one was like, well, maybe I don't need all that, maybe I'll go a little bit easier, excuse me. And I started looking at the EG4 3000 watt inverters. They're all in one again, but these aren't they're not like portable. You know, you mount them, you run all your wires, you hook up a battery, you hook up the solar, you still got to wire them in, yada yada. So I looked at those. If it would have been pre-tariff pricing, I probably would have bought one, because they were like $600. And then I guess I missed the boat, but tariffs, or the announcement of tariffs, and the thing went up to $1,000, and it's kind of hard to be like, oh yeah, like 2 months ago it was worth $600, now I got to pay $1,000. That's gross. So I read something, or I saw something about, you know, solar inverters, solar generators. Started looking at that, and I'm a big OfferUp guy, big Facebook marketplace guy. I love used stuff, and started looking at those, and there's some good deals on all-in-one inverters with batteries. And so I ended up getting a Blue Yeti. I had a deal on an EcoFlow Delta Pro 3, so that's like the newest, baddest machine, and it was sweet. Would have been $2,100 is what I talked him down, but he sold it out from under me. He was selling the generator and that power station. He wanted to sell them both, and he found a buyer and sold it. It was a good deal. He was trying to move it. If I could have moved, it was all the way in Oregon. If I could have gone to get it, would have been a good deal, but missed out on that one. Started looking at other things, found a Blue Yeti. It's a Blue Yeti 200 or AC200PL, which is P stands for premium, which is pretty cool. So I'll show that to you here, and then I'll go through. So this is like I don't know, episode 1. Yeah, episode 1. I don't have any video editing skills. I've done iMovie. So maybe I'll chop this together, cut out some of the crap that I'm talking about if it sounds too long or boring. But anyway, I just want to make them sweet, short and sweet, tell you what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. I'm going to post this to the Outdoors RV Solar Upgrades Facebook group and the Outdoor RVs. Just trying to share my knowledge, share what I'm doing. I think it's pretty cool, and I'll go through that here on this episode 1 of kind of what I'm doing, and then I'll just, I don't know, every night I work on it, maybe I'll make a short episode, be like a short mini series. So here goes nothing. So this is the Blue Yeti I bought. It was pretty much brand spanking new. I got it for $800. It's 240 watts, as you see, pure sine wave inverter. It's 2300 watt hours, so that's pretty darn good. I would have to do the math. It's a 48 volt system, so let's check this out. And part of researching all this, you kind of learn how all this math works. But if you go 2304 234 divided by 48, it's probably a 52 volt system, to be honest with you, but let's call it 48. You're getting 48 watt or 48 amp hour, so it's a 48 amp hour battery, which isn't bad. If you did that same math, a lot of guys go with the 12 volt system, so let's say 2304 divided by 12, it's almost a 200 amp battery on a 12 volt system. So we're not doing a 12 volt system. I still have my existing 12 volt system in this trailer. To go over the background of the trailer, this is a 27 BKS, no, excuse me, it's a 28 BKS. Sorry, I had a 27 BHS. That was my previous outdoor RV. And then this is a 2020 28 BKS. So it's a different layout, kind of the same deal. You got bunks in the back. On the 27, they're on the other side, and this would be a bathroom door. But anyway, to keep it short and sweet, I decided to mount this system in the back. And what I'm gonna do is mount a semi-permanent installation on this thing. I opened up everything. I've done the research, or I don't know, I did the fact finding, whatever you want to call it. I opened all these panels up and took a look, and I will show you kind of how this is gonna go, or at least my idea of it, and we'll work through it as I go. But the Blue Yeti is gonna mount semi-permanently right here, and all the port connections are over here. So what I'm gonna do is cut a hole right there. So I have, they're these crappy, I don't know, I wish I would have had the EcoFlow, but again, I'm trying to bargain this. And these are the connectors. So imagine this going straight out the back. So this is gonna go in the wall over here. I got some ideas for how to clean that up, but this is where it's gonna mount permanently or semi-permanently. What's cool about this is I'm gonna have all these connections come through. I'm gonna have the 30 amp cord go right through here through a nice little outlet plug. All this is gonna be covered up. I'm gonna cut another hole right here, and behind here, I don't know if you can see that, let me grab my flashlight. There's a whole panel here, look at that. I'm gonna mount all my electrical gear right here. So all the electrical wires are gonna pass through here, around, and they're all gonna mount here. And then permanent electrical for the trailer is right across the way. So I'm gonna tap into that. I'll show you what I got planned. I made a diagram, so I'll post that with this video. Check it out, understand it, and then this video will make a little more sense. What I found was it's crazy how much wasted space is in here, and I understand why they do it. I mean, look at all that. That's like 8 by 16. It's crazy. I thought about redoing this whole back panel, but then it's like, man, that's a lot of work, and I just want a functional system. So what I designed here I think is going to look pretty cool. But yeah, that's the gist of it. This is going to be permanent. This is going to be a semi-permanent inverter. The power, even from the shore power, so anytime you plug in, this is going to be primary power no matter what. Let's say I take this out, then the transfer switch that I'm putting in is going to switch over to shore power, which is still the plug, but it'll just bypass the inverter connection and power the trailer. Same distribution box, I haven't really, I've thought about how to run the trailer off of this battery, but for right now, this is just phase one. We're gonna keep the existing trailer 12 volt. I have two 6 volts to make 12 volt. We're gonna keep that system in place. In the future, that's phase three, maybe that's phase three. Phase four is run this. They make a D40 is what it's called, and it's a, I don't even know what you call it. It's a charger, a DC to DC charger, and it'll convert that 48 to 12 volt and put out 30 amps of 12 volts. So I could run straight battery cables to that. But again, this is in phases. Phase one is to get this thing semi-permanently mounted and hooked up and working and powering the trailer. Phase two is add a battery. That's like maybe that's phase 1.1, right? And then phase two is bring solar. So that's the other advantage of this. If you see that right there, this is a vent that goes straight up to the roof. So I'm gonna run all my solar down this wall right here. So I got a place to run all the connections minus battery connections, right? I'd have to probably run, if I wanted to convert this thing over to run completely off the Blue Yeti, I'd have to run battery cables from here to the front somehow, or at least to the inverter. So that's like phase 5 or 6, or you know, maybe never happens phase. But anyway, again, short and sweet, this is my layout. I opened everything up. I'll show you guys as I go along how I got this planned. Again, check out my diagram. Okay, now check this out. It's a cool little advantage. Got the power station in its semi-permanent location, and I need to cut something with this power tool, this antique power tool from my grandpa. But it's a power tool. I'm not gonna go out and buy a brand new fancy one, because this is a Craftsman Types 1. It's built in the 50s. Look at that Sears. Look at that Sears logo. That is good. Anyway, I got a power station. I don't gotta go run power. I got 4 outlets. Check this out. We gotta plug this sucker in. Give me a second. Look at it. No ground on that plug. That's how old you know it is. Didn't have grounds back in the day. Just said, let me get shocked. And then we hit AC power. Boom. Oh, there it clicked. Look at that. Ready to go. I'm ready to cut my hole with my power station. Okay, we cut the hole. Look at that. Guess what? I gotta vacuum this up. Got them plugged in. Check this out. We'll hit the button. Fire it up. Ooh, she jumped to 2,000 right off the bat, but now she's settling. Look at that. This thing is a beast. Powers my stuff, no problem. We'll clean this up. Look at that. What an awesome machine. Okay, this access hole is gonna be for mounting all my system components. I'm gonna have a transfer switch, a 30 amp plug coming out of a junction box to the transfer switch. I'm gonna have a 20 amp outlet for the machine to plug in. So all that's gonna be mounted back here, and then we're gonna come through this. So my next hole is gonna be punched to that wall right there that you see. Let's see if I get my finger on it. This wall right here. Behind here, that's gonna pass through. That's gonna be the cable pass through for battery, AC connection, everything on the back of this unit. Everything right here. So eventually it's gonna be solar. We're gonna put some extra batteries on here. What is this? Circuit breaker protection. I'll have to move that around. And this is the AC outlet. So this is gonna plug into a 20 amp, and this thing will charge at 2,000 amps. At least that's what they say. 2,000 plus amps. Takes about 45 minutes to charge, I think is what it said. Anyway, I'll test that out once I get there. But my next hole has to be this size over in that panel so that the cables can pass through it. and I can shove it against that wall. So here we go. We'll lay that out and drill that. Okay, that's the hole we're gonna cut for the connections on the Blue Yeti. So we'll cut that little guy. I don't have an access panel for that, but I do have an idea. Stay tuned. It's very MacGyver-ish. You're gonna love this because it's a super mod, super idealist mod. Okay, if you're a total noob and don't know how to do this, first I drilled 4 corners with a decent sized drill bit. A drill bit big enough to sit the, what is this, a scroll saw or a jigsaw blade into, right? Look at that, goes right in there. Then you go cut this thing around. This thing's pretty maneuverable, so you just cut through the holes and hit at the corners, but you have to drill some kind of hole so you got a way to stick your saw blade in. Bam, for the noobs that don't know what they're doing. Okay, there's the second hole I drilled. This is for the Blue Yeti ports here. Bring my light over. So that hole is where that's gonna go. Okay, this is my first, and I'm not paid by Blue Yeti. I didn't get this for free. Like I said, I bought it off Facebook Marketplace for 800 bucks. But anyway, this is the first thing that I'm not too excited about. These stupid cables. They're called airplane, or what are they called? Aviation cables. You see that it's got a fatter indent and the 2 small ones, so you got to line it up perfect. But I saw another video of a guy who said this thing spins. Like, that ain't right? You put it in here, you know you got it lined up, but this thing still spins. And what happened to him is it ripped the cable connections. You can't spin this. Once it's in there, you got to leave it. And I'm not sure why it's not tight. No idea. But this outer ring here is what locks it in. So once I plug it in all the way, then you screw that in, screw it real tight, and I'll show you how I got it going in that hole. I can't do this one-handed, so anyway, I wanted to show you that. That's my first dislike of this unit. Look at it, it spins. That ain't good, especially for a mobile application, but you know, budget friendly, that's what I'm going for, so we'll see. Okay, I couldn't do this one-handed, but here's my power cord, and this is not where it's gonna live. It's gonna go over to here. So this is gonna go around the corner and plug into a 20 amp outlet right here. I'll show you that later. And then so that's the hole I cut, and that's for the back of the unit. And the idea is, now that I got this set up, trust my measurements, it's the first time I'm doing it, I should be able to push this all the way to the wall. Voila, passes through with no problems. It's tied up against the wall in this corner. So yeah, that's its semi-permanent home. Look at that. Let's do a little video in here. Maybe you can see that better. See how well I did that. Did I line it up? I'm gonna throw that light in there. This is me being a wild Billy. I can't see the camera, so maybe it's good, maybe it sucks, who knows? Only time will tell once I watch the video. Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, that's about as far as I'm going to take it in part 1 for tonight.